Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Above Average Shoe Show! Thank you again, everybody, for showing up and listening to our podcast. Once again, this is the Above Average Joe Show, a podcast where we talk to people in the film industry that help make these celebrities look awesome. And today's guest is one of those people that has done it several times. And just to give you an idea of things she has worked on, little movie called The Hunger Games, TV show called The Originals, Vampire Diaries, Insurgent, Blended, The Avengers, if you got a chance to watch that. Small little TV show some people from down here have heard of, The Walking Dead. Movie called Venom that just came out, Anchorman 2. Captain Marvel, which hasn't even come out yet, or maybe it has come out yet, depending on when this airs. We're also looking at The Punisher TV show. We are looking at the Watchmen TV series, Life of the Party, Captain America Civil War, Rampage, Black Lightning, Acrimony, Macgyver, Dynasty, Thor Ragnarok, and the Mule, which I saw and I did not even realize there were stunts in the Mule. But apparently there are, and maybe we'll get into that, maybe we won't. But our guest today is the wonderful, the beautiful, the talented CC Ice. And as always, I am your host, Joe.
You muley quip!
I wish people would stop telling me that. Okay, so moving on. Cece, thank you for being here on the podcast. Thank you for joining us.
Well, thank you so much for having me.
Oh,
so great to see you again.
It's good to see you again. For those of you who don't know, I have known Cece Ice for years now.
Yeah.
We have been friends for at least 5 years.
At least, if not 6 or 7.
Yeah, I think it's closer to 6 or 7
Yeah.
now. I think I just stopped counting after 5.
Because it was so awesome. Why would we count?
Exactly. And what do you do in the film industry?
I am a stunt performer. Yes, a stunt performer, stunt double. I help create all those amazing action sequences that you see in some of the films, and I double actresses to keep them safe so that they can do their job and I can do mine. I come in and sometimes I help with the choreography, or I learn the choreography, fight choreography, action choreography, anything like that, and then we perform it on the day and keep everyone safe.
Awesome.
Safety first is our main priority, actually.
And out of, the list that I just gave of everything that, not everything, sorry, of some of the stuff you worked on, what are some of the more famous scenes that we would be able to recognize you in where you were stunting or where you were doubling and be like, oh, I just heard her on a podcast?
So the most recent one that you would have seen is Avengers Infinity War, which came out last year in 2017. Well, now it's 2019, so that's 2 years ago. I can't believe it's 2019 already. So anyway, yes, so I doubled Elizabeth Olsen as Scarlet Witch Wanda in Avengers Infinity War, and we had a great time, but the entire Scotland sequence was a big part of what I did for this movie, and also the sequence in Wakanda at the very end where Thanos, smashes me across the jungle. So that was me, and also getting hit into the ditch by Proxima was also me. And Lizzie did an amazing job. She trained with us, and she did such a great job on all of her sequences. But a lot of the wrecks and flying and falling in Scotland that you see, that was me.
How do they decide on who gets to do what? Where is the line drawn, or does that depend on the actress, or are there certain lines that just will not cross to where they decide this is just too dangerous for any actor that you just never let them do unless they're Tom Cruise?
Yeah, exactly. So there is a rare exception to that. We all know Tom Cruise, but he has an extremely extraordinary stunt team, a wonderful coordinating team, and I respect them very much. They test things out. They make it safe as they can for him. But so yes, in a majority of movies, there is a very specific line that's drawn as to safety first for the actors, also safety first for anyone else who's around the scene, which includes any other department, camera department, production department, and so a lot of things will also depend on how the actor or actress can perform certain things. So fight sequences, fight choreography is different than big stunts that are wrecks and falls through glass and things like that. So when it comes to fight choreography, we like to see the experience of the actor or actress. We will train with them, and then they will show us what they can and can't do or don't want to do. Some actors and actresses prefer not to do the movements. They want somebody else to get in there and do it, so that they can focus really on the amazing acting that they bring to the screen. So it does change each movie as to what that line is, but there are, when it comes to safety of going through glass, going through walls, hitting the ground, those sorts of things, car stunts, boat stunts, like those things, those are hard lines where those are stunt individuals. Like, for instance, I was in front of the exploding car in Scotland for Avengers Infinity War. That there was no way that we would have an actor in front of that as it exploded. So that was me.
It totally makes sense.
That is absolute safety.
You don't want anything to happen like what happened with Brandon Lee on his set.
Yes.
Total accident.
Total accident.
You just don't want those accidents to happen.
Absolutely not.
And no offense, but you can replace a stunt person most people won't know.
Yes.
Because you don't see their face.
Exactly.
But you can't replace Brandon Lee with another
anyone else.
Asian guy. It's going to be hard to find someone that looks just like him, that can act, that has gone through all of that, and bring that same character to life.
And then the audience will know the difference. Whereas, you're right, we are replaceable. I do know full well in my job that I am
Everybody
replaceable.
is, other than the actor
except the
and
face
the producers with the money.
Yes. Yes, so that the face and the money, those stay, but everybody else can be interchangeable. And I respect that. I understand what I do, and I aim to do my job well.
So beyond Avengers, where else were you highly visible to where people could turn into a movie and be like, that is her, that is definitely her?
Well, I do know that there were two sequences that recently just aired. That one I get to play myself. It's a very quick moment, but in Doom Patrol, episode 3, I actually played a Futopian, if you will. It's a German. Well, I wouldn't say we're German doll-looking people that we're all dressed the exact same. We're all a part of an extension of a man's mind and his personality, a doctor. And we attack the main character, Robot Man, as well as some of the other characters. And I'm in the hallway, and I actually literally get smashed face first into a wall, and then tossed across the way by Robot Man, smashing into the other wall. So I got to be myself very visibly, dying.
And let me just say, your face looks fine,
Yeah,
in case anybody's worried about you at the moment.
My face is fine. My mom didn't know about that part until it was done. Yeah, my face went face first into the wall, and then got yanked backwards on a line and smashed into the wall behind me, so across the hall as he yanked me. That was one. And then the other one was the Punisher TV show. Episode 1, there is a bathroom fight that the Punisher has with some agents, and I double the actress that's in the bathroom stall. And then the other performer is Monique Ganderton, my very good friend and also stunt coordinator.
Oh, nice.
So she got to play herself in the scene, and I doubled the actress. And so I get to get slammed around by John Bernthal himself in the bathroom and get thrown through a bathroom stall. So that's very clearly me. And leading up to that, when I get slammed to the ground as well with a knife fight, I have this piece with him where we're fighting knives and he's kicking me around, and it's a pretty great time. So
awesome.
Yeah.
And how did you get started in doing stunts? Did you grow up as a 4-year-old just jumping off buildings and like, ooh, I should get paid for this at some point in my life? Or
So I grew up with 5 brothers and 7 sisters, so it was like my own version of the Hunger Games.
Just for dinner.
Yeah, it was Hunger Games for sure. And I have such a wonderful family that encouraged me, but also my brothers always had such great ideas, like let's jump off this thing and let's have Cece do it, she's the smallest, or let's do limbo toboggan and, slide down the hill and go under this rope, and guess who gets clotheslined off the back of the sled? That was me.
But that does sound amazing.
It is amazing. It was an amazing childhood. And Mom always had us in the hospital at some point. Not that she was a bad mother. She's an amazing mother, by the way. But we were always having terrible ideas when she was...
and kids just get into stuff.
Kids get into stuff. She's an amazing mother, and I love her so much. She supported me, and all of the kids. She deserves an award, by the way. My parents do. But my brothers would always have, let's jump down the staircase with this trash bag as a parachute, and that didn't go so well. So that's where it started, and then I saw.
Sorry, I'm laughing. You can't see me. CC sees me. You can't hear me. That was a non-breathing laugh that I was just doing there for a moment. I am sorry.
It's amazing, but and then as a young woman, seeing my mother, such a strong woman, and then seeing my sisters and my brothers. But then I watched movies like Aliens with Sigourney Weaver being like total awesome, strong female character, and then I saw Terminator 2 with Linda Hamilton, and that was it. That was the moment where I was like, oh my gosh, I want to do pull-ups like that. I want to be a strong woman. I want to save the world, and so those ladies on screen inspired me, though I didn't know stunts existed. I didn't know that. I grew up in Missouri. They don't do films there. I didn't know what it was. But I just knew that I wanted to do the action, and I wanted to save the world.
Which you are slowly doing.
In superhero
and have
movies.
sort of done until Thanos showed up.
Well, what a jerk, right? No, but yeah, one superhero movie at a time, I'm pretending to save the day.
Cool, awesome. We are going to go ahead and take a quick break, and we will be right back with more CC Ice.
This episode brought to you by Magic. Watch this. I'm going to make all of the audio that you're listening to disappear.
And welcome back, everybody. Thank you for staying tuned. Thank you for listening to our fomercials. And in case you didn't already know, we have no sponsors at the moment. If you'd like to sponsor us, we would love that. But for those of you listening, also, those are fomercials. They are fake commercials, so please do not send us emails complaining that you cannot find advertisements on Googling these names. But we are back with CC Ice.
Hi.
And we are going to talk a little bit more about your stunt life.
Oh boy.
And so I have a couple of questions that I've been curious about. I know that we've been friends, but we usually don't talk shop. So it's like we're done with work, we get off the job. I don't want to sit there and talk about what I've done with casting. You don't want to talk about stunt work. Let's just talk about other stuff.
Yeah.
But we know that we have other listeners out there right now. So I'm going to ask questions that I've always been curious about and find out what your input and your answers are. So
I'll do my best.
So when you're getting into a fight scene and you need to figure out choreography, how much input do you have as a stunt person as compared to the stunt coordinator? Is that more of a collaboration? Is that something that they've already choreographed and they come to you and say, these are the 5 moves that I need you to do? Can you do them? No. Okay, next person, can you do these 5? Or is it, oh, you can do 4 of the 5, let's adapt. How does that whole process work?
So the fight, I would say the stunt coordinator will get the script and be able to read the script and see what characters they have in this. And so if the character is a superhero that has a lot of flipping and a lot of wire work, essentially, as you're reading the scene, you realize certain skills will be needed. Or say there's a sword fight and you're reading it and you realize that the person you have to double has to have sword experience. You will, as a stunt coordinator, start thinking of who could double these characters that have these skills. So you would start reaching out to those specific stunt performers that have sword skills, that have wire work skills, that have gymnastics capabilities over somebody who might not. Not all parts are like that. Some are just straight fights, without technique at all. It's a prison brawl and somebody's getting shanked. So it really depends on what characters you have in the movie, and then from there, the stunt coordinator will put their team together. They will find a fight coordinator and a fight choreographer that will know those styles, somebody who's versed in sword fighting or somebody who's versed in very realistic hand-to-hand combat. So they'll start putting their team together, and then the stunt coordinator will hire the doubles. They will come in, they will start working with the fight coordinator, the fight choreographer. So the choreographer will have a style, but you do, as a performer, get some input at times depending on who you're working with, which is awesome, because there are times when I might not be able to do a move that they're thinking of, but I can do something similar. So I'll say, what about this? This I can deliver no matter how many times you ask me to. And they'll be like, awesome, it works with this, or let's try something different.
So they try and work off of your strengths, too.
Yes.
So if something's lacking a little bit, it's like, well, we can do something a little bit better.
Yes.
What have you got?
Yeah, because we all want to succeed at the end of the day. We're all a team that want to put our best foot forward and really bring the scene to life, and in the way that the director is hoping to see, in the way it was written, in the way that the stunt coordinator would like to see as well. And so we tend to do pre-visualizations of the scene as well. Which is so we will. The fight coordinator and the fight choreographer will come together and create a scene and choreograph it, and then the performers will either be helping in that or learn it. And then we will get a camera on it, and we will film it in the way that we hope to present it to the director. We even hope to share the camera angles that are the best for selling this punch, selling this kick. And so we actually edit together a small mini movie to pitch to the director or whoever needs to see it, producers, etc., as to the stunts that we can deliver, how we would do it. And we're not in wardrobe, we're in regular rehearsal clothes. You can see the wires, they're not edited out, but you can see how we would do this wire gag, and in the scene doing the acting and everything, so that they can see how the actor would flow into the scene, where the cut would be, where the stunt double would be used, and the angles to be used, so that you can hide the stunt double in that, and then show them how to film it properly and give it to them. And they either go, this is awesome, let's film it just like this, or they'll say, we love this, we'll film it our way, or they'll go, this is not really the style we want, come back to us, it's close, try again, and we'll do a scrap of that and start over and do a whole new previs.
How far in the process do they scrap that? Is that before you guys have started practicing, or are you guys already like 3 weeks into practicing this, and all of a sudden it's like, let's do something else. Let's start all over. And by the way, we're filming tomorrow.
Yes, we've had both happen. We've had all situations happen. If you ever could imagine any situation happening, it's changed literally as we're on set. It's changed previous to set. It's changed in the rehearsal prep phase. Locations have changed before, where we will choreograph something that will take place on a train, and then we're halfway into that, and they just decide a completely new location will be on a farm, so we have to re-visualize the entire fight, because now we're in an open plains without any walls. So, that's happened to us. But the fact that we are a team, we are a family, we want to succeed, we just go, all right, this is the way it is, let's bring our best, do the best that we can, and deliver something awesome. So we do collaborate quite a bit, but of course, I don't have as much knowledge as the, stunt coordinator, the fight choreographer, so if they ask my opinion, I will give it, but I'm always ready to learn from the best of the best, and I know that I'm very down here, so I want to learn.
You're not always offering up, what would be better?
No.
I mean, your idea is great, other than it sucks. Let's go with my plan.
Yeah, my plan, exactly, Star-Lord.
And then half the world dies.
Yeah, so there's
because
that plan.
you offered up your plan.
Yeah, that was such a great moment in Infinity War with Star-Lord. So it is a collaboration, and I'm thankful for the opportunities I've had with the wonderful coordinators and choreographers, but they are so amazing with their knowledge that I always trust them, and most of the time they're very good about modifying whatever needs to be modified for each person's individual skill to really shine. Mm-hmm. So it's a collaboration.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And then with this, having to choreograph scenes, and then you've got to try and figure out what works, what doesn't work at the same time. How much of the script do they actually give you? I mean, do you know what's happening beforehand? Where it's like, okay, so I have to choreograph because she just broke her leg. Mm-hmm. Do you know that information going in? Do you not know that? Do they give you just enough, like, okay, we just want a fight scene, it's in a train, you got a broken leg, go from there?
Yeah.
Or are you like, oh, this is just before Thanos destroys everybody, and
So-
now you know the ending to Endgame, but you're not allowed to tell us.
I know nothing. I just work here. Yeah, Infinity War was amazing, and as we all know that it already came out, so I hope you've seen it, everybody.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, spoiler
It
alert.
has come out.
It has come out, and Infinity War was incredible to work on, but that was only specific people ever got to see the script, and then they would share what we needed to know in order to do a good previs. That was how it went, and I totally understand.
Yeah.
So we knew pieces. We knew the pieces we were in, and we knew the pieces that we needed to know in order to portray what we needed to portray on that moment. Other films are very open with it. We can see the whole thing, and the stunt coordinator will describe the whole scene or let us read the whole scene. Sometimes we'll get sides and read the whole scene. But it actually just depends on how the production feels about that. So, like, for instance, on Punisher, we did need to know that he had an injury to his butt. He gets shot and ricochet. Sorry, spoiler alert on this. It already came out, but Punisher, this current season that already is out, a ricochet happens and he gets hit in the butt, and so like that's something we had to know for the previs, because that's a very important story point that plays later.
So you have to find a stunt actor that can portray a guy who got shot in the butt.
Yes, and he was wonderful.
Wow.
No, yeah.
I mean, it's one thing to portray emotions,
Yeah.
but to portray that you have a wound in your buttocks and
For the rest of the fight, yeah.
yeah, for the rest of the fight, trying to figure out, okay, how would I move with that pain?
Yeah.
Which you can only imagine what the pain feels like.
Yeah.
It's like, well, could I do that?
Yeah. Or
It's hard to draw those lines, not
Exactly.
having a bullet in your ass.
Yeah, and the stunt performers all did a great job on that one, by the way. But yeah, so there are certain times where we need to know what's happened before and after, so we know where we've come from and where we're going. But then certain times they're like, no, we just want to see what this is. That's all we need. So it's a fun game.
And then what happens when you've got like recurring stunt work? So say like Avengers, we'll go back to Avengers again. You've been working with Elizabeth Olsen through that whole thing.
Yeah, through
and you guys
Infinity
had
War.
to work together
Yes.
to come up with her moves because she wanted to do something a little bit more elegant and more fancy with when she was doing her magic. I don't know what to call it. I'm sorry, I'm not nerd enough. I'm nerdy, but apparently not that nerdy to come up with the correct term.
So Elizabeth Olsen is wonderful. I love working with her. So my entire time on Infinity War was incredible, just to be around her and to work with her and to train with her and to train her and to also get her input into this character that she's brought to life previously in other movies. But the difference here was her character has grown while training with the Avengers, so Infinity War needed to be more than she had done before. And so we took the style that she had come up with, this beautiful, elegant style, different, very unique, and then we expounded on it by tapping into other styles of martial arts. And we came up with some styles, and then we had her come to the studio and train with us to see what felt natural in her body, what she liked, what she didn't. And then we went from there, also collaborating with her movement coach. So it's kind of amazing that we all sort of came together and created this together. And then when I would do certain bigger moves, I would always make sure, do you feel that your character would do this? And either yes or no, and to make sure that she felt good with what the character was, because it's her character ultimately. I'm just there to fill in the pieces of the action part that's dangerous.
You're there to emphasize and just to help support her.
Yes, but I would never try to do something that didn't seem right for her to do, and I always would check in with her, and she is so wonderful to collaborate, and such a good sport about it too. And she really gets in there. We were so proud of her. She's an honorary member of our stunt team because she did so well when we had her flying on wires and things like that.
Wow.
So yeah, we were able to.
You really brought her in and initiated her.
Yeah, we did.
And then, by the way, none of this will be in the film. We're just doing this to you.
yeah, we're just having fun back. But no, for Infinity War, we had her flying. We had her doing really cool stuff and doing some great fight sequences in the pillars in Scotland, as you can see. And then I did some of the wide shot stuff as well, and then all those wrecks. So it was a good team. So, but that's how it goes. So we collaborated together and came up with her very specific style, and hopefully people enjoyed it.
And speaking of the Scotland scene, one thing that I had just seen on the internet, the restaurant that you flew into
Yes.
wasn't the stunt, or wasn't the actress, wasn't anybody else. It was you literally flying through their front window,
Yes.
their front door.
Yes.
They now have a plaque sitting on their restaurant saying this is where the Avengers happened and broke through the window.
Yes.
Because you specifically
Yes, me.
broke into the restaurant.
That was an incredible stunt. And let me just tell you that, Sam Hargrave, Monique Ganderton, stunt coordinators, as well as the rigging team, Mike Huggins and his entire rigging team, I have to hand it to them for keeping me safe, for keeping my life safe. My mother's very happy as well, my mother and father. But they were incredible. This restaurant window that I had to go through in Scotland, it's a real restaurant, as you say. Yep. And my friend actually over in Scotland took a picture of the window when they put that up, and they said, "You're famous now." And I said, "Well, my action is famous, I guess." But
they all still give it to Elizabeth Olsen.
Because she's awesome and amazing, and it was her character. So
And because you're so good at not letting people know that you did it, because that is part of your job too.
Yes, my job. I mean, my job is to do the action, but I'm not. It's not about
It's not about you.
No. It's about helping the character continue and filling in the blanks that to keep the actress safe so she can continue doing her character. And I love her so much. She's amazing. So the rigging team and the stunt coordinator and everyone there kept me safe. This window was just wide enough for me to go through. On either side of the window, they had brick. On the inside of the window, they had brick pillars, and the bottom of the windowsill was also concrete and brick. And so if I went through incorrectly, I would smash into either of those things, and also if I didn't get my legs in the right way, I would clip the bottom and possibly injure my ankles.
So you're looking like a 6-inch clearance on either direction?
It was pretty tight, and they measured it. They did such a great job. They measured it out many, many times, and then we rehearsed it on studio of putting tape marks out and to make sure that I went through the tape, and if I hit the tape, then that was like operation.
So they put tape on a wall?
They
just
hung
throw
tape.
you against a wall?
No. They hung tape just from the we had the whole
from
rig
the ceiling
set up.
And the rafters and stuff. Okay.
We had a whole rig set up, and they hung tape from those and said if you touch those, it's like operation. That's a bad thing. So we got it just right. We dialed it in during rehearsal, practiced with the breakaway glass, and everything on the night went smoothly. I did it 3 times for 3 different camera setups, and there's footage of me on the inside. I actually landed into breakaway tables and chairs on the other side of that.
Oh, wow.
They didn't use that footage ultimately for the film, but it's somewhere. Somebody has that somewhere of me smashing through everything on the other side. And the thing about it is I could only go so far, because if I went too far, I've slammed into an actual bar that the restaurant had in there. So it was a big oak bar. And so the rigging team had to make sure that I also stopped in the point that I had to stop on the other side, or else bad news.
Is this more of a guess and check thing, or are they like mathematicians that...
No, there is no guesswork in that. They mapped it out, and they know their stuff. Mike Huggins and his team are incredible, and they know their stuff, so they kept me safe. So many wire gags, so many, every day. Amazing. It was like every day, Cece, you're on a wire, Cece, you're flying, you do this, that, and they were plotting it out and measuring it out, and everything was to the T. So I'm very thankful to them. Yeah, so that was my favorite gag I've ever done, by the way, was the window gag in Scotland. 2 months of night shoots there for that.
And with all of this choreography that you have to learn and do, and all of the movements and everything that you're drawing from, I know a little bit of your history.
Oh, gosh.
You used to be a dancer.
Yes.
How much of dancing goes into what you do now? I know it would be very violent dancing.
Very angry dancing.
It still seems like you could pull at least some of that history that you've had onto screen.
Absolutely, 100%. So I was a dancer for 18 years, and I was part of dance companies, and I was a choreographer for a small theater company, and did some other things as well. And that has helped me immensely with wire work, with fight choreography. Even though it's a different intention, I had to work very hard to make my transition into actual fighting. I started taking Muay Thai, boxing, jiu-jitsu, judo, these sorts of things. And the intention of my move is very different now, but the flow, the body awareness has helped me with, reactions, fight reactions, because I know my body, wire work because of the core, and being able to fly like superheroes and those sorts of things, but also memorizing choreography. It is a dance.
Oh, yeah.
Even though you're trying to kill the other person now, it is a dance between 2 or more people, and it's a story you're telling, just like on the stage. so I'm absolutely thankful for that background that I didn't know would be aiding me in this, and also a high threshold to pain, being in ballet and modern dance.
Those shoes.
I'm just telling you, hours and hours and hours in dance studios doing the same move over and over and over again. So I am very good with repetition. I don't mind it. I will train forever, and a high threshold to pain. So with a smile on my face. So it's helped me.
Loving it all the way.
Oh yes, I do love my background of dance. It's helped me much.
And then also in your history, this may or may not relate. We'll see where this conversation goes, because I've been curious about this. I knew about it, but it wasn't until I researched you again that I was reminded. You used to work as a magician's assistant. One of the most amazing jobs that you could possibly have for somebody like me that just loves magic shows. I will sit there and watch magic. But then I ruined it this last year. What
did you do?
I watched the TV show Magic Reveal.
No, don't.
Because I was just curious.
That guy, man. I'm so mad at him. I think all of us who really care about magic is kind of angry at that fellow. So yes, I actually ended up in that by... I was a dancer, and I auditioned to be in one of the many shows that were live shows, and then they needed dancers for this magic show at first, and so I was a dancer in the magic show, and then slowly but surely we also started learning the illusions. So then I actually became a magician's assistant through that. There were a couple different ways that we ended up in those spots, and it was some of the most exciting and thrilling times of my youth was performing these amazing illusions and seeing not just kids' faces, but parents as well, adults, everybody just, wowed by the amazing magic that we brought to the stage. And to this day, my parents still don't know how any of those are done, because I signed a contract of saying that those illusions would be private.
Don't let them watch Netflix, because that's how I got it ruined for me.
So my parents are sad that I won't tell them even. So I don't share that. It's true magic, truly, when you work with such amazing magicians, and the timing and the amazing magic that comes to stage. It's real.
I mean, all of it is kind of mind-blowing, even when you know how to do the things.
Oh, I know.
It's like, there's a lot of thought that goes into it. There's a lot of choreography that goes into it. There's a lot of timing that needs to be done, that if you're not doing the right thing at the right time, you ruin the illusion of everything that's going on.
Oh, yeah. No, it's a lot of pressure.
Very easily.
It's a lot of pressure, and also, so I worked with a lot of magicians, but Sean Paul and Julianne, they're a team, amazing, wonderful. I love them to death. They had this spark that was just so different, and they also created a lot of their own illusions, and they are phenomenal. They are so talented, and it is magic. No matter what, when you see them perform, it's magic. It's like, oh, that's magical. The quick change act that they had was phenomenal. Everything that they did, and their personalities were so wonderful too. They were a joy to work with, and that was my favorite time in the magic times was with them. So, but even when I know how an illusion is done, when it's done well, I'm still impressed, even though I'm like, I've done that one. And I'm like, I still am impressed by it.
If they do it right and they add just the right amount of pizzazz.
Yes, yeah.
You're still, wow, that was really good.
Yeah, well done.
It's like watching the movies.
Yeah.
You know how all the stunts are already done.
Oh, yeah, but then you're like,
wow, that was great choreography. That was a good
amazing
fight scene.
So ultimately, that's how I felt about watching my friend Monique in Atomic Blonde, as well as Charlize Theron. Atomic Blonde is one of my favorite movies, and incredible. And Sam Hargrave and the whole team, everybody did such a phenomenal job, and Greg Minter and Daniel Hargrave. So the fight sequence that happens in the staircase, that's part of a oneer, that's a stitch oneer, it's an amazing fight sequence, and it's so brutal and so real. And the team put it together so beautifully that it's magic. So as a stunt person watching that, I go, wow, these guys did incredible. And you can't even tell the moments where Monique is in there doing it, and then Charlize is in there doing it. It's beautifully done. Seamless. And then some of the wrecks that the guys take down the stairs, I'm just like, oh gosh. That is where I'm like, that's magic.
When you can watch other stunt people and you're a stunt person, you're like, ooh, that's gotta hurt.
Yeah, oh yeah, and the whole time, oh man, the whole sequence in the staircase, and they rocked it. So, and they got a Taurus Award for it. So well done to them. Nice. Congrats to them. Yeah.
And for anybody listening, check out Atomic Blonde if you want to see some great stunt choreography.
Oh, yes.
That is the scene to watch.
Yes, that's
you heard
the
it
scene
straight
to
from stunt people.
Yes, they are my fellow peers, but also they inspire me every day, and they're my friends too. So I'm thankful for their friendship.
Cool. We're gonna go ahead and take a quick break. Go ahead and listen to this foamercial while we take a couple drinks of water and catch our breath. We'll be right back. Thanks.
This episode brought to you by Pneumonia. You liked our original ammonia flavor gum? Now try the all-new Pneumonia. Pneumonia is so juicy, it'll leave you breathless and gasping for more. Can now be found at several local ocean beaches near you. Pneumonia.
Welcome back, everybody. Our wonderful guest here is still CC Ice. She is still present. She hasn't left yet. All upset and confused on why she was even here to begin with.
I'm having a great time.
We are both having a great time. Everybody's having a great time.
Yeah, I'm happy to be here. Thank you so much for having me.
Oh, you are welcome. And let's talk about some of the other work that you do.
Mm-hmm.
Some of it is stunt related, some of it is semi-stunt related.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that I know is that last time I talked to you, you owned your own gym.
Mm-hmm.
But apparently, from what I've heard, you now own 2 gyms.
Yes.
You are branching out. You become a franchise.
I'm a franchise. So when I first moved here in 2012, I met some wonderful friends of mine. They're now my best friends, but at the time I met some wonderful people, and they became we became a pack, if you will, of stunt folks. And I met Dania was one of my friends who introduced me to Dante Ha and Thomas Culler, and a few other people as well. But Thomas Culler and Dante became my best friends here. And so over the years, we would train together. We would find parks to train in. We would find, open gyms at a gymnastics place to train in. And we would do it wherever we could find a place to go. And in the rain, we would sometimes find someone's garage. Well, over many meetings, we decided, the 3 of us, to get together and open our own little space to continue that exploration in stunt training, but also continue exploring in our own film ideas too, and do film projects together, and then also branch out into other folks that we knew, and to have a space for them as well. So in 2016, April 2016, we opened, the 3 of us, Thomas Culler, myself, and Dante Ha, opened a place called The Chamber, which is in Stone Mountain, just outside the city. And we've had it for the last 3 years, and we've really enjoyed building it from this dream that we had in our minds to what it is today. And it's currently a private facility, so it's very stunt specific. It's not a gym that's open to the public, but it's for stunt individuals in the industry, SAG individuals as well as those up and coming. But it's at this point a private gym, and we like to cater towards exploration in film projects, people's personal film projects, as well as film productions, renting the space for previs and other stunt rehearsals. So we have the space ready for them to come in and use that space. Now, the end of last year, I branched out to find a location down in near Pinewood so that we could have a location north and south. So we've purchased a place down south, and it's called Apex Entertainment Studios, or Apex for short. And that is a warehouse style that's more geared towards productions, any type of production coming in and renting the space. It can be for stunts, or it cannot be for stunts. It can be for sets or not. And so that is available to rent for any production, and it's a 5,000 square foot warehouse space with an office in the front. And right after I purchased it, a production came in, and the stunt ensemble, the stunt team, actually rented it for their productions and their rehearsals for their show that's now airing. So they had it for several months right out of the gate, and they loved it, and they loved the space. So I was very pleased that could be there for them. Now, of course, the Chamber up north with my friends, we've rented it to various productions as well, and we like to keep it private. We don't like to say who's rented it. We want it to be private for those individuals that like privacy. And we've also trained actors there as well, and been available to productions in various ways. So yeah, it's been going really well, and I'm very thankful for my friends, and I'm very thankful for the ability to explore together this wonderful space that we've called the Chamber, and now, of course, Apex down south.
And
So.
another thing that you've been doing that's semi-stunt related, just because you've been in, not really in the business with other stunt people, but you've partnered with other stunt people, is with your love of animals and cats and dogs.
Yes. Our little fur babies are so important to this world, and they don't always have a voice to say what they need to say to us. And so, one of my best friends, obviously, I've spoken of her earlier in this interview. Monique Ganderton. She is a huge advocate for animals as well, and so my love of animals, her love of animals, we came together on Avengers, working together. She had a wonderful idea to support the local shelters, and what she came up with was we would cover the costs for 1 month for the Fayette Humane Society, the Fayetteville County Animal Control as well. We would cover the costs of adoption fees, so we would pay, and that way adoptions were free for anyone who needed to go and get a new fur baby. That way we could help get those beautiful animals a home, a forever home. And so we had such a great time doing that, and I think it's so important to adopt, not shop. I know that's such a saying, but I think it's so important. There's so many little animals that need homes that have been, for various reasons, either given up or found on the streets, and they're just looking for a loved one to take them home and love them forever. And Monique has a wonderful farm where she has so many animals that she loves and cares for, and she's amazing mom. She's amazing fur baby mom. And so we very much like to recommend, if anyone would like to donate or give their time or foster even. Some of these locations are looking for fosters because they don't have an actual place. They just get the animals out of those places and then foster them until they can find a home. So the Fayette Humane Society, they need fosters, and they really help people with, they help the animals, the population control of animals, because they help people cover the costs of having their dogs or kitties neutered or spayed if they can't afford it, that sort of thing. And that's at fayettehumane.org.
And these are all Atlanta or Georgia-based?
Yes, Georgia-based.
Just because people will be listening across the world.
I know.
Let's narrow it down to let them know.
So this is in Georgia. This is in Georgia, and I recommend you looking in your own city for those shelters that really need your help, whether it's your time volunteering or if you have some money to spare to send to them to help cover the costs of surgeries that might be needed, or food, or any various thing, cat litter, everything, toys. They need your help as well. So here in Georgia, we have a couple other ones. The Royal Animal Refuge, which is in Peachtree City, Georgia, and they focus on high-risk dogs in kill shelters. So they try to go save those high-risk dogs, get them out of those kill shelters. So that's royalanimalrefuge.org. And then, of course, we have another one, Coco's Cupboard, which works in affiliation with Healing for Heroes. They actually train service dogs for war vets. So that's Coco's Cupboard Inc.org. And my friends, Jersey, as well as Monique and several others, they all help with these shelters as well. And so we all love to pitch in, and if we can help in any way, it gives great joy to my heart, because I love kitties, doggies, horses, pigs, you name it. I love them. They are our souls.
And I will just add on there, too, that we are not sponsored by any of these companies. They have not asked us to discuss them. We are doing this because they are a passion of Cece's, because they are places that she believes in, that she knows and trusts.
Yes.
So we're not receiving money, we're not receiving compensation, and we're not saying good things just to make $1.
No, not at all.
Not made any money off of this podcast.
No, they don't even know that I'm going to say that, but they are such wonderful, wonderful groups, and so they deserve to get their names out there, even though they don't know this is going to happen. But and if you just take one look at the little faces, all the little fur faces. It's just such love there, and they just want to come home with you. So get out there in your local area and go to some of their societies, their humane societies, and look at those kitties and doggies and all the other animals and help them out.
This episode brought to you by the homeless cats down on 9th Street. Down with dogs. Cats rule.
So next what I have is a cold read that I would like to do with Cece. This is, if you haven't seen The Last Jedi, what you should do right now, if you want to go watch the whole movie, go watch the whole movie. If you don't want to watch the whole movie, just go onto YouTube real quick and type in Kylo Ren shirtless.
Stop.
So if you've seen this scene, it is one of the most uncomfortable scenes in The Last Jedi. But what we are going to do is we are going to combo the awkward scene from The Last Jedi and Cece's love for cats. We are going to reenact this scene for you live, well, not live, but recorded on this podcast as cats.
Oh my god, my dream come true. Of all the things I've ever wanted to do.
And just so you guys know, this is a cold read. For those of you who don't know the term cold read, what this means is that Cece has not seen the script.
I'm so nervous right now.
I have seen the script only because I wrote it. So I have not rehearsed it. She has not rehearsed it. She doesn't know it's coming up. I barely remember what I wrote.
It was a late night. Who knows?
But I remember the scene of Star Wars in my head because I had to watch it 15 times while I was writing this. And yes, Kylo Ren still makes me uncomfortable with his shirt off because he has such an inverted triangle body that you do not expect underneath that silly helmet.
I don't know if it was maybe the wardrobe, high pants or something, but, I don't know.
Yeah, he had no hips that would just made it look awkward. So
He's a handsome fellow, though, don't get me wrong.
Oh, yeah, and a great actor.
Yeah, amazing actor, by the way.
Black Klansman?
Oh, my gosh, he was incredible in that, by the way. It. I love that movie. It's a very poignant movie, by the way, talking about some of my favorite movies that just recently have come out. That's one of them.
That is.
And all the actors were phenomenal in that movie, and
yes.
the message is incredible. So if you haven't seen it, go see it.
Go see it.
And I'm not getting any money for that plug, by the way. I'm just saying good movies, including that one, as well as anything that Henry Cavill's in.
And if you haven't seen Logan Lucky, that is another one that he was in. Not necessarily his best work, but it was a fun ride to watch.
Yeah, that was it.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
Plus, I worked on it, so I'm kind of a little bit biased.
Yeah.
So that was fun. So yeah, she has not seen this scene. Cece has no idea what we're going to read. So we will be making odd cat noises through all of this. And this is going to be either really good or really bad. We will see how it goes. And yes, we can always edit it out. And we will need to share the script, too.
Okay, great. I'll put it right here so we can.
And I will be playing the role of Kylo. And you will be playing Rey.
Okay. I'd rather not do this, meow.
Yeah, Siamese, too.
Why did you hate your tomcat father? Do you have something, a collar or something you can put on?
Why? Are you checking me out?
Why did you hate your paw? Give me an honest answer. You had a pedigree feline who loved you. He gave a damn about you.
I didn't hate him.
Then why?
Then why what? Why what? Whisper it to me.
Why did you catnip him? I don't understand.
No. No, you don't. Your parents threw you away, like my neutered parts.
They didn't!
They did, you feral! You can stop needing them like biscuits. It's your greatest weakness, kitten, next to a pool of water. Looking for them in every cattery and clouder. In Han Chartreux, now in Spaywalker. Did he tell you, Panay, what happened that night?
Yes!
No, that was only his perception of what happened. And cat scene.
Cat nap.
Wonderful.
I think that was, pretty accurate to the scene that was in the movies.
Not bad for cats reenacting.
I think it was great.
And what the audience couldn't see was we were cleaning ourselves simultaneously, yes. So now my ears are a little bit wet.
Yes, and I had cat paws too. I had the cat paws.
We're going to take a quick break. I am going to dry my ears off, and we will be right back. This concludes part 1 of the Above Average Joe Show with our special guest, CC Ice. Be sure you also check out part 2, where we take a trip together in the Ready, Set, Life, Go machine to a sandy ocean beach, and we play my favorite game of 25. We also talk about her, and everyone's really, adoration of Keanu. So tune in to part 2 with our special guest, CC Ice.